All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Shri Prabhupada. Gaurangera Prema Sankirtana ki jai. Om Gyanatinirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Paramayam Dadati Swapadam Tikam Pandiham Shri Guru Shri Jatapada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sakajatam Sahagana Raghunatanitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalitam Shri Visakamitam Cha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Gauragovinda Same Nitinamine Gaura Draganya Ganagotra Valuruharam Gauranga Gunatana Gopyada Gopavixam Gopalagadara Tilam Jadishinga Gaura Govinda Nishikambaram Satata Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Same Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasatya Desatarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shiva Shravana Videvi Daitai Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhurjo Jala Premadya Shri Rupa Nuga Bhaktida Shri Gora Karuna Shakti Vikaya Namostate Namaste Gauravane Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupa Nuga Vrutva Pasidanta Vanta Harine Namagora Kisharaya Satya Vairagya Murtaye Vipralam Bharasambodhe Padam Bhujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanubhavarayate Gaura Bhava Vimatvam Nirdesha Sajana Priya Vaishnava Sarva Gumnasi Jaganayate Namaha Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaevacha Varitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Mahavarannaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishna Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaurate Se Namo Panchatattvamakam Krishna Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhakta Bhaktara Bhaktakam Namami Bhakti Shaktikam Jadvaitam Brahmapanisari Tarabhya Shatanuvam Jnanantaryami Purushayatya Shangsho Vibhavo Sadaisvarya Punarayo Bhagavan Sasayamaya Na Chaitanya Krishna Jagati Paratattvam Paramiya Radha Krishna Pranam Kriti Ladini Shakti Rasma Ekatmanavati Bhumipura Deya Vedam Gatutum Chaitanya Kyam Prakatamajana Tadayam Chaitanyamabdam Radha Bhavatu Tisavaritam Nomi Krishna Sarupam Chiradaratam Nijagupta Vitam So Prema Nama Amritamachyadaro Apamaram Jo Vitatara Gaura Krishna Janavyas Tamam Prabhavi Gaura Sacharitam Ritamritanidhi Gauram Sadevastube Gaure Napatitam Ashavajana Gauraya Sarvam Bhave Gaura Dasti Krupaloratro Naparo Gaura Savitro Gaure Gaura Vamacharami Bhagavan Gaura Prabhu Rakshama Madhurye Marube Sugam Vivajana Swarnam Bhajanam Bhalam Karunyamrita Nirijare Rupasitam Saprema Imam Chalam Bhaktam Vadaradharani Vijayani Niskampa Sampagami Devana Kulavimvata Vijayatam Chaitanya Krishna Hari Ajanulambita Bhujo Kanakavadato Sankirtane Kavitaro Kamalaya Vishwambara Vijavaro Yoga Dharma Palo Vande Jagatiyakaro Karuna Avataro Anarpita Charinchira Karunaya Vatirna Karo Samao Payitu Mannotu Yorasam Svabhakti Sriyam Hari Purata Sundara Jukti Kadamba Sandipita Sada Rudaya Kandari Spuratuva Satchinandanam Gauranga Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Shri Krishna Chaitanya Deva Bhakti Madhya Bhavevada Prema Kalapataruda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Deva Bhakti Madhya Bhavevada Prema Kalapataruda Shri Brajarajana Radhika Jivana Dhana Aparupae Samavada Shri Brajarajana Radhika Jivana Dhana Aparupae Samavada Navadvipe Avatari Radha Bhava Pari Takanti Angera Musana Navadvipe Avatari Radha Bhava Pari Tarakanti Angera Musana Ninavancha Avilasi Satchigare Parakase Sangeraya Parisada Navancha Adilasi Sachigare Parakasi Sangeraya Parisada Gora Hari Avatari Prema Badavatari Sadila Mame Nijakaja Gora Hari Avatari Radha Bhavani Gora Hari Avatari Prema Badavatari Sadila Mame Nijakaja Radhikara Pranapati Kivave Kandeniti Kamujana Kata Samaja Radhikara Pranapati Kivave Kandeniti Kamujana Kata Samaja Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Uttama Adama Kichuna Basila Jatiye Nilekato Uttama Adama Kichuna Basila Jatiye Nilekato Kaye Pramanandai Managona Rudaya Doriya Bogo Kaye Pramanandai Managona Rudaya Doriya Bogo Bhaja Gauranga 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 Bhaja Gauranga 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 Bhaja Gauranga 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 Jai Jana Gauranga Bhaja Sayahoya Malaka Jai Jana Gauranga Bhaja Sayahoya Malaka Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Yaseva Padam Ruchapatilani Prema Nidana Varana Pumattu Tasmai Jaganma Varana Malayu Chaitanya Chandrayo Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandrayo Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandrayo Namo Namaste Ananda Lila Mayo Vigrayo Imamadibyo Chavisundarayo Tasmai Mahaprimo Rasapadayo Chaitanya Chandrayo Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandrayo Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandrayo Namo Namaste Hare Krishna Jannatam Kamaniste Nacha Samarigatam Jatta Pudhyana Jogete Ragistyagas Tata Chubirati Neta Kitam Chabikachin Govinda Prema Vajanapi Nachagalitam Yatarasam Swayam Cha Namneva Praturasira Vatrate Parijatratam Nomi Gauram Chaitanya Chandrayo Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandrayo Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandrayo Namo Namaste He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanto Namaste Jayata Suratupango Mama Mandamatir Gati Masavasya Paramo Jurata Matanamona Ivavindaranga Kapatmada Shmalangadara Shila Samastu Shmarada Shila Govinda Devo Krishna Mano Smarami Shmara Sara Sarami Vamshvata Pastita Dashavenu Samevati Gopinata Sivestuna Tapta Kanchana Gorandi Radhe Vrindavanishvare Prasavana Sogadevi Pranamam Hari Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna. How are you doing? Singing verses glorifying Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Only by His grace that we are what we are. And in this, you know something about Vedic scripture? A little bit. So, Vedic scripture is called Vedas, the original knowledge. All knowledge comes from Vedas. And they're timeless wisdom. It's not like it's not that somebody wrote them. They manifest themselves because they are the words of Supreme Lord. Their knowledge coming from Supreme Lord Himself. That He made the creation possible and He also given knowledge how to understand everything within His creation and how to understand it and how to understand how to realize our real nature. Do you know your real nature? You're aware about that? Okay. Your real nature is spiritual nature. You do not belong to this world. You need this body. Like you say your body, but you don't say I body. So this body is something, is there to facilitate you to be in the material world. So material life means having material body. But factually, your real nature is spiritual nature, divine, and loving nature. We're made of love. And you can see that in whatever we do, or whatever feeling we have, there's no higher feeling. There's no more more pleasing feeling than loving feeling. When you love something, you love someone, I mean, really, you know, nothing can match it. That feeling is very strong. And we have seen sometimes, of course, in this world, love is perversion. The real love was so spiritual. So in order to experience real love, we have to become spiritualized. Otherwise, whatever we're experiencing here in the name of love is a reflection of it, and yet perverted. Just when you see object in the water, sitting by a swimming pool or big lake or something, you see the object on the shore, they reflect in the water, but upside down. And when you look at yourself in the mirror, you see yourself there, you see your reflection in the mirror, and your right hand seems to be left hand, and left hand is right in the mirror. So that's the reflection perverted. So the proof of that is that whatever we do in this world, no matter how we try our best to love someone or to be loved, it doesn't really happen in the way we want it. It doesn't happen. The proof of that, you see many people, they're in love and then again they, out of love, fall out. But the definition of love is something which can never, where it's no beginning, no end. It's always there. although apparently there's some other reasons to break up that love, but it can never. Just like God is eternal, the Spirit is eternal. So we made with Spirit, we made of love. So love is eternal, because that's our nature. But whereas here we experiencing temporary, so-called love, but it's a reflection. Just like when you see mirage in a desert, it appears like water. Actually, no water. You're going to quench your thirst with that. So, therefore, everything here we're experiencing is but the reflection of the reality. So, everything we're trying to do, politically, academically, socially, trying to improve the society, trying to improve everything in our lives, right? Psychologically, everything we do. Why are we trying so hard to find the right thing? Why, in the first place? Where is that coming from? In the spiritual world, we don't do that. In the spiritual world, everything is there. You don't have to make any strain yourself to get it. It's naturally there. But in the material, we're looking for that. We're looking for harmony. We're looking for love, peace. Why? Because we're in the wrong place. Because in the desert, we're trying to get water out of mirage. No. Then we have to think, oh, hang on. Water must be somewhere else. So, life must well like that. Otherwise, why are we struggling so hard to get this, to adjust things, to solve problems of life, this and that? Why? It's a life? We're meant to be like that? No. We're on the, we're on the artificial platform. Therefore, we're looking for something. So you have to have a problem, but then you're trying to find a solution, right? So that problem is our conditional life in the material world. So in the material world, it's like also it's compared to a prison house. No matter how comfortable you are in a prison house, but you're always thinking, how am I gonna get out here? You're gonna say, oh, I've got everything inside the prison, I want you to stay here forever. No. You're always conscious that I'm in a prisoner, I'm inside the prison, I want to get out here. So similarly, no matter how comfortable we are in this world, whatever we're trying to achieve in this world, whatever we have already, we're not peaceful. You can have everything now, but you're still frightened about what's going on in the world, about how you're going to lose those whatever you have, how you're going to maintain it, how you're going to maintain yourself, the loved ones. So many anxieties. So this material world place of anxiety, that means we're in the wrong place. Suppose if you're in a foreign place, something like that, you're worried about so many things. But if you're home, your own place, you feel confidence. Naturally, you feel safe, you feel secure. But of course, the material world is not really a long-term security. But it appears like you're secure, but you're not. Because death is there, disease are there, enemies are there, so many ups and downs are there. So, this is how I can describe to you the nature of this world. Now, by now, you should know that in the spiritual world, we don't have to struggle for anything. We don't have to struggle to love someone. We don't have to struggle to be loved. We don't struggle for nothing because everything is there. It's perfect world. It's like when you have a reflection of something, there must be, it must be a thing. It's substance. It's there. Then you get reflection. You can never get reflection from nothing. There must be something you get the shadow of it or reflection. So this message is serious for those really can use their common sense, who's very serious about solving the problems of life. And those problems, the cause of the problems are not material. The cause of this problem is ignorance. Ignorance of our real nature. Like I described to you. Ignorance, our connection with the supreme, powerful, the embodiment of love. Because, see, if we created our loving nature, so we have the origin of that. See, the origin is supreme person. Because you're person to person, right? Like in a family, you have a parents, you have a father, it's many children sometimes, right? There's only one father. So, and also, we all talk about universal brotherhoods, whatever, that we're trying to unite the world together because we feel that, yeah? We feel that we belong to one place. Really, indirectly, we feel like that. We feel there's a need. Because if you analyze, you individual person, I'm person, right? We have some tendencies. What are those tendencies? See, pleasure is pleasure, suffering is suffering. There's no pleasure, pleasure has no color, suffering has no color. All kind of feelings, sentiments, where they have no color. And love has no color. So that means those thing I'm saying, those tendencies, they are not material, they are originally spiritual. Because matter has no feeling. The feeling is the symptom of the soul, symptom of living being. You see, for instance, you as a person, you are living within this body, because therefore you say your body, you never say I body. There's no school teaching that I'm this body. Although they think so, but they say my body, which is in simple language means what? That I'm not the body, I own this body, I possess this body, right? Like I possess this, yeah? This is my shirt, this is that. So you're something else. So you are the soul. And the soul will be residing within this body. Even in a religion like Christianity, Jesus Christ will say this body is a temple of God. And you being part and parcel of God, like Jesus Christ will say he's the Son of God. And he said one way to see the Son is in the Father. Right? Jesus Christ was right. Why? Because the Son and Father, they belong to the same nature. Right? And that nature is spiritual nature. So Jesus Christ to say, if you destroy this body, this temple of God, he didn't say this body is I in this body. He never say that. So now those tendencies, the spiritual tendencies, this tendency of the soul that you have, I have, everybody, we all have the same. Suffering for everyone, right? You might be suffering different way, but the pain of suffering is the same. The pain of pleasure, the feeling of pleasure is the same. The emotion is the same. Sometimes, what you feel about human beings, you love dogs and cats, right? We treat them because they're living entities, right? If you love your dog, you have to do everything to please your dog. Because the dog is also a living entity. The dog also has feelings of a pleasure, of happiness, and you're trying to have some, loving a change with dog, playing with dog, relaxation, what you speak about human beings. So all the living entities, regardless of the external covering, the external covering means the body. You may have a female body, male body, You may be poor, rich. You may have a white body, black, yellow. These are all dresses. Like how many people we see around here? We all dress differently. We all dress differently. Are we fighting over that? You go to see somebody, why you dress like this? Start fighting with them? Similarly, because of ignorance, sheer ignorance, we are fighting because of covering the body. Therefore, we have discrimination. Or this is my community, my race. In fact, it's not ignorance. There is only one human race anyway. According to the scriptures, the only human race. But we just look different. That's normal. Why? Because it is said variety is the matter of enjoyment. Without varieties, how can we enjoy? Right? We like to see different things. We like to see different people. You get to a different culture, you get to listen to different songs, this and that. So the variety is a matter of enjoyment. Without variety, how can we enjoy? You get bored. It's limited. So we belong to one race, human race, and we just different because we want diversity. That's what created. Like when you're painting, what's the point of painting with only white color? You may do that, but most of painting is colorful. You use a different color to make it look, oh wow. So out of ignorance, we don't know this. And we're fighting over the covering. We should offer over the dress. And this material body we have is a prison uniform of the material prison. We are prisoners here. That's what we're struggling. Because we have become so rebellious, we have become so challenging, we have become competitor of God. And for this is the crime. And because of this, we want to compete with God instead of being in love with Him. See, sometimes people they have a wrong conception of God. They think God is just a powerful person. Why should we surrender to Him? These are natural. People are resilient. They don't want to surrender to someone. Right? It's normal. But that's wrong impression. That's material way of thinking. In the spiritual platform, God and you are the same. And you and God, you bound by love. So what's wrong with that? How can you say God is just superior, I'm inferior? No question of that. In loving exchange, there's no question of, there's no question of exploitation. God must be you equal because you need each other, right? So God is like that. God is not the way we think or why we're envious of God. We're thinking, why should a powerful being, more powerful than us, controlling us, this and that. These all material conceptions. But actually love means God. God means love. People say God is love. The Beatles to sing that. George Harrison, for my sweet Lord. So much I can say about this higher philosophy. But this is what you need to understand. This is what you need to know if you really want to understand the truth. And God is the truth. And that truth is actually realized by having this knowledge, this wisdom. Just like when you go to university, college, whatever, you're studying subject, it's a formula, and then you get the actual experience of that, like a science. So it's a spirit of science, and when you have it, when you know this science, and then you realize it, and everything I'm saying is not theoretical, it's practical. It's a question of revelation, a question of realization. You realize it. It's no longer to say, oh, God is just a myth, or this is not spiritual, just a myth, or this is like mythology. No. You realize. Suppose I have something You don't know what is in my mind. But if I reveal that to you, you'll understand, oh, that's what it is. So, therefore, this process is to help every human being, because human form of life is very rare. It's a high privilege in the material world, human form of life. What? Because according to the laws of nature, laws of karma, a living entity has to undergo cycles of birth and death in different species, in different planetary systems. You take birth in different environments. Like now you're human, but you don't know what you've been in your previous lives. So you're eternal. Don't think that your life started when you were born from your parents. No. The living entity is eternal. It's transmigrating due to the karma. Due to the karma, you accept a certain situation of life, and those achievements actually are defined by the laws of nature, not by you. You never chose to be born where you are now. Can you say that? No. You just happen to be where you are right now. You didn't choose, really. No, God, see, like I was explaining, God is very dear to you, you're very dear to God. You're both spirit, right? Because God is spirit, you're also spirit, because you come from Him. Yeah? When we said that God created everyone equally on the spiritual platform, right? The material platform, we know equal, right? You're female, others a male, other the different, you're white, other the yellow, black, something. There's nothing there to be equal. All different, right? But that equality is because of our real nature, the spiritual nature. So, therefore, we're all equal spiritually. The soul within you, the soul within me, the soul within the dog, the soul, they're all the soul. They prove of that we have all the same capacities. You know, we feel hungry, we feel thirsty, right? We need to take rest, we need to eat, we need to be happy, we need to defend ourselves, you know. All the capacities are there in all the living entities. Therefore, in this sense, we can say it's all the living entities, all the spirit souls there is some value. There's no living entities with less value than the other. Never. That's on spiritual platform. We respect everyone. Not more than that. You see others like you see yourself. It's a real spiritual platform. But you have to realize it. You have to realize it. So that realization comes if you become aware of this wisdom, and then you accept this formula given by Supreme Lord Himself, how you can meditate, right? And you can practice spiritual, you can engage yourself in spiritual practice. So gradually your ignorance will be dispelled. Because now that ignorance is compared to a dream. You might have, I'm sure you have several times the experience of being in a dream, right? In the dream everything seems to be real. But you're actually sleeping and your body's lying there, motionless. And you in the dream you're very active, you do so many things. And the dream you get a feeling also, right? Maybe feeling of joy or happiness, feeling of sorrow, suffering, what we call nightmare. And then when you wake up, you realize, oh, that was just a dream, right? But at the time you were in the dream, You don't know it's a dream. You know? You're really living that. You're experiencing it. So similarly, now at the present moment, in this ignorance, which is illusion, Maya, we are thinking that everything here is real. But if we cultivate properly, following the authorized process to purify ourselves, and then that means we wake up from our nightmare with a dream, and gradually the spiritual world, everything I'm telling you will be revealed to you. It's just a question of revelation. That's why we say spiritual meaning mystical. You know, something that you cannot comprehend with the mundane brain. No, it's to be revealed. And then you realize, oh, I was an illusion. Now I'm situated on the platform of reality. When you become spiritually realized, you understand your real nature, spiritual nature. At that time, you need to help others also. You feel so concerned about everybody else because you see, oh, this person is ignorant. Like someone is crying out of ignorance. So why are you crying? What's the matter? Like somebody's crying out of nightmare. Sometimes a child is sleeping, having nightmare. Even an adult sometimes. Very terrible nightmare. And you're crying while you're asleep. And people next to you, they see, oh, you're really in pain or something. But then when they wake up, say, ah, that was nightmare. So, in the human form of life, like I was saying, human form of life is highly privileged. And why? Because after undergoing the process of karma, action, reaction, and you transmigrating from different life after life, then by the mercy or some good fortune, you obtain this human form of life. That's what I'm telling you, that you didn't even know how did you get this human form of life this time. You didn't know that. But according to your previous activities, the laws of nature, the superior authorities, supreme law, is calculated that, okay, you've done this, you've done that. Now, here, you're going to have this birth, right? You're going to get what you are now. It was awarded to you. It's not that you decided yourself to be what you are now. It was awarded to you according to. So like now, it is said man is the architect of his own destiny. Man is the architect of his own destiny. So meaning is that whatever you're doing now, will determine your next life. Yeah, nothing by nothing. Are you sow, so you reap. If you sow an apple tree, definitely you can never expect the mango. You expect apple. You can expect orange from apple tree. So everything you're doing now will have a consequences. Will have the reaction of that. Some reaction will be just in this very lifetime. That's what we see in this lifetime. We have so many chapters of life, right? A few years ago you were like this, you live in different, and then after a few years you change, you go to different places, you live in different countries, your experience changes all the time. Yeah, you live different environment, different people, different circumstances, like this. And ultimately, next life also gonna be the same. So that's it. Therefore, in the human form of life, we have to learn how to stop this vicious practice of transmigration. Because sometimes transformation is very vicious, because now you're in a good situation. If you're not careful about what you're doing now, maybe next life you'll be more degraded. You can take birth among animals, or you can take birth among the human beings, other human beings who are suffering. We live in the war zone. They get bombed. You know, they just say after the instant. You know, people are desperate to run away, right? You can take birth in the very, very unfortunate circumstances. And some people in their entire life just suffering. Every time, every moment suffering. And that suffering comes from various sources. Suffering from your own body, suffering from other living entities who want to harm you, like the terrorists, like the virus. They're living entities. Or some dangerous animals like snakes, scorpions, can bite you and kill you. Also microbes, so many things, and suffering also from your own body. You know, you're having psychological problem, mental problem, stress, so many things coming from your own self, diseases from your own self, and then other miseries from the force of nature, like cyclone, this and that. You know, it's devastating. People are dying. Wild forest fire, so many things. It's a force of nature. Extreme weather. See? So, and birth. When you take birth is not fun. Birth is very suffering. When the child is born, the child is crying, covered with blood. I've seen how my parents are so when my child was born. You know, mother's in pain. The whole process to get the child is suffering. Mother is to suffer from the pregnancy all the time. And the embryo inside the mother womb for 9 months or more, the child is living upside down. And the child, the tender body of the fetus, is been bitten by the worms inside. And the child is to suffer like that for over 9 months. You see? And the time of coming out, the child so much pain to come out of the mother's womb. So, this whole birth is not the fun. And old age, don't tell me anything about that. You have no experience, because but you see the old people, aged people, they're suffering so much. They can't do much. Their body's giving so much suffering. They can't use their body properly. It's not the soul suffering by the body, but because of a misidentification, they're thinking of this body. And old age is not fun. And diseases, of course, nobody wants to be, to embrace diseases. You don't want to embrace the diseases. You want to be healthy. Both old age, disease, and death. Everybody's afraid of that. Everybody's afraid of death. So, see, so many ways, so many miseries. So this is not natural. And this is due because we have accepted material body in the material world. And we're not in the spiritual platform anymore. Although we're spiritual, but we've been lost. We are lost here. We're lost. Therefore, this process, in the human form of life, we should accept this process of, this is not religion, it's spirituality. Spirituality means it's common ground we have. religion, some sentiment people have, I have my religion, this religion, that religion, sectarian. That's the external. But the real thing is to understand our spiritual nature. That's a common ground for everyone. So we're to cultivate our spiritual knowledge. So this Krishna consciousness we're preaching, we're helping people, giving this, we're sharing this knowledge. I was ignorant too, but by good fortune, I learned about it. So wow, because I had so many questions. I was brought up a Christian Catholic, but I couldn't get all the answers to my problem. People just say, oh, okay, this religion chant. Okay, good. Pray to God, but we don't know how to pray to God anyway. We don't know what to ask for. Usually, in those religions, we ask for material things, but that's not the right thing. We don't need any material thing. We need to get out here, not to adjust our material, facilities. No matter who you are, you may be Bill Gates, you may be Bezos, you may be whatever, you're gonna suffer, you're gonna die, you're gonna get old, you're gonna die. But death is for the body. So as long as we identify ourselves in the body, we're gonna die. But if you go to the spiritual life now, in this life, and then you realize your spiritual nature, there's no death for you. What happened the time of leaving your body, you creating your body, it's not you dying. Your body gonna die, the soul never dies, and you'll be fully God conscious or Krishna conscious, then you'll be living very happily. For you this question is something. Just going back to the spiritual world. Leaving this mortal body behind, and you just leave it and you go. But if you don't realize, if you don't God conscious, Krishna conscious, you identify the body, you think, I'm going to die. And you're full of fear, anxiety, everything. And then, next life, you might be very in deplorable situation. Doesn't make sense? Anything that doesn't make sense to you out of everything I said? It's very logical. And very sensible. What's your name again? Anina. Marlena. Oh. Haridas. Yeah. Is your first time here? You've been here before?
I went to the farm and I collected bananas to the cows one time.
Yeah. Yeah, we sell it at our temple, yeah. We have a farm and we take care of the cows because according to our spiritual practice, the cow is a mother. We don't kill cows. We don't kill any living entity anyway. Even when we take vegetables, those living entities bad.
Keep going.
Oh, but it is. We follow the instructions of the Supreme Lord. He said, a living entity can eat another living entity to survive. But for a human being, he has made a concession. We can only eat, we can be vegetarian. And again, not only that, when we cook vegetarian food, like vegetables, milk products, all this, we offer to him in sacrifice. And that food has been sanctified, blessed. Because we follow the order of the Supreme. So it's just like when you're a police officer or fire brigade, something like this. if you go for emergency, right? The traffic light may be there, right? Red, but you're allowed to go. You don't break the law, right? You are allowed. So similarly, whatever may be offensive or maybe an offense or maybe some kind of breaking the law, right? But if you do that under the instruction, under the order superior, you're not liable to punishment. Just like somebody, a soldier, an army person in the battlefield, when he kills somebody, he cannot be, how to say, he's not condemned. He's doing the duty. That's the law. That's under the order of the superior. You're doing your duty. So, if we follow the laws of God, then we're no longer sinful. Being sinful means to go against the will of the Lord, to do things whimsically. You think I'm free, I can do what I want. Just then instead, you can't do what you want here. If you do something, you get arrested. You know, certain things you can't do. So we offer our fruit, and then the Supreme Lord bless, and then we're no longer sinful. So we love cows. The cow is mother. She gives us milk. And she's lovely cow. She's a pure. So the cow down is through the cow. We use that as a purifying agent. But other living entities, when you touch the dung or the stool of other living entities, it's very contaminating. But no cow. Such amazing. Pure. Disapprove. So, yeah, we call mother cow. We worship mother cow. So we're supposed to worship mother. Actually, no, cow is cow is the manifestation, is the embodiment of Mother Earth. The earth and cow are no different. See, that's why cow eats grass from the ground, and that grass coming from the ground and transform into milk. This is amazing how God did everything so amazing. So the Mother Earth giving us like fruits, other eatable, and at the same time, because the mother cow, the land cannot feed us the milk as a mother, but the Mother Earth assumed the form of a cow to feed us the milk. So there's a connection to the milk and the things coming from the ground. It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah. So cow, mother cow, earth, the same. And how can you really mistreat your mother, and kill your mother, slaughter her? Now people, especially in this Western country, where many slaughters house, killing cows, eating cow meat. This is ignorance. This is ignorance. And that's what people suffer and suffering. Like they're trying to solve problems, the world, the war, this and that. They don't know why we're having those problems. Because we're committing so many sins to a mother land, mother ground, mother earth, mother cow. What criminal act can you commit, really? But God, the motherland, is still really tolerant. We not deserve to. So those people are involved in this killing, they're not supposed even to live. Because they're committing the most heinous sins, but still the mother give you a little punishment, and you still living. So people so ignorant. They don't know what they're doing, but then they don't know what the consequences of that. So in the human form of life, it to be very, very wise. And this wisdom, of course, kind of concoct our own wisdom. The wisdom is there because it's a part of us. But at the moment, we've forgotten about that. But the Supreme Lord is so kind. He, by meeting like this, He comes to you to tell you. God can speak through anyone. He can speak from your heart. And if you're really a good listener, if you're an honest person, then you realize, oh wow, he looks like anyone, but what matters is what you are hearing, what is being told to you. And you hear comments and say, wow, that's amazing. It is said you know somebody when he speaks. When somebody is fool or somebody is wise, how he speaks and what he speaks about. So, Supreme Lord is so kind. He's telling you everything through me. I'm nothing. And you are hearing this, you also can take it. If you take it seriously, you also will be an agent of God to share with other people, to make them, to save them from terrible miseries of this material world, awaiting them any moment, any time. So, thank you for listening. Do you have any question? You're more than welcome. If you have any question, any comments, any doubts, no, here we don't carry it because we do that in our place. The temple, yeah. We're in the Samamish area. It's like maybe some 40 minutes from here. Of course, I would like to invite you to come too. Anytime you can come. Do you drive with me? Okay. We're leaving here at 8 o'clock. We'd like to come that time, too late for you. Just come. Very nice weather now, it's nothing to worry about.
I have a class I'm in.
A class? What time?
All day. It's right now, but I came here because I felt this call to come here.
But this very, you know, something happens all the time. If you can at all skip for an hour or 2 hours just for you joining together at temple and those milk are in some milk. So it's a pure milk because you see the cow knows. The ordinary cows from other farms that because they kill those cows afterwards, right? You know. But they're exploiting those cows, right? They're getting the milk. That's not very good. But if you drink the milk for a cow, like I said, from our cows, they're looked after, they're respected, you get full benefit of having cow milk. Full benefit. Just do it. Do it. just for today, and then once you know the place, and then in the future, you can come anytime you want, you know. But today, let's go see it, okay? Yeah. And it's a lovely place, lovely. So we finish 8, and then I can show the way. I come with you, you know. We drive easily, because I know.
I drive behind.
Oh yeah. If you want, yeah, you can do that too. Yeah, great. You can do that too. Yeah. So you can follow us behind, and then you get there. Then I show you the place. And you melt. And that's very special milk. Alright, so I'm gonna do some more singing. But I can't talk with you all the time. This is a part of but that's why I'm here, because I'm senior priest. We love sharing, and I'm allowed to share this with everyone, preaching, and it was amazing talking to you. You've been very receptive, and of course it's all Krishna's arrangement, divine arrangement, nothing by chance. Nothing by chance. Don't believe in it. Oh, this happened by chance or coincidence. No. In the spiritual platform, there's no such a thing of coincidence. Everything takes place by the will of the Lord. He knows past, present, future. Everything was planned that this is gonna happen. And you to take full advantage of it. And your life will be sublime. Where do you get this? That dot.
I signed up for a program through Nityananda University.
Oh, really?
And it's the Paramashi Bohan program.
This program?
Paramashi Bohan.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And it's like 2 weeks, like all day. But today I felt like, I don't know, I've been in this process of like surrendering to the Guru.
Uh-huh.
And so he's present with me in my mind.
Wow. Wait, let me tell you, I don't want to interrupt you. Since you mentioned Guru, Krishna, Nityananda, is the original Guru. You may have a living Guru, right? Like so many Gurus are there, right? You accept this good, this good, this good. But if you go up, the original Guru is one. He is Krishna or Nityananda. So, whenever in your undertaking or in your journey, on your journey, your spiritual quest, right? You're practicing. God is watching you. God is there antaryami, super soul, your heart. He's the one guiding you. If he sees, again, as I said, according to your previous karma, if you had done something which is really something that has pleased him, some or other, right? So you may be searching for the truth in the different ways, and this and that, but he will bring you to the right place. That's what he does. He said, okay, look, you want this? Just like you want to go buy something in some market, right? And you said, okay, you want this thing really? Okay, I know the shop, you can get it. Or I'm going to the store, you can get it. So similarly, when we're looking for the truth, we're looking for a spiritual, achievement, whatever. Sometimes we go to the wrong way, or to not really wrong, but somewhere which is not really like highly quality of it. They get mixed. Many spiritual paths they get mixed. Karma, jnana, yoga, like this mixed. But the real spiritual life is pure, absolute. Beyond karma, beyond yoga, beyond jnana, this and that. That's we call that pure goodness, the Suddha Sattva. That's the absolute truth. So, the way you're saying it, how today you feel like coming here is always advantage. There's no explanation. You can say, oh, I was thinking maybe this today, maybe that today. It could have been yesterday, it could have been another day, it could have been in the future. But it's happening now. That's the will of the Lord. So you're gonna get something to eat, right? Okay. It's nice vegetarian, vegan food is really delicious. And while you're waiting, you can sit here and eat. I'm gonna be doing singing kirtan, which is nice too. This is the way of eating. And I'll give this just for now. But when we go to the temple, I'll give you wonderful books. Because you're going to do sacrifice to come all the way there. Because you're going to do sacrifice to come all the way there. So once you get there, really you get nice reception. We'll give you, you see the place, I'm sure you like it, and then we have wonderful books there, like Bhagavad Gita, everything. You look around, okay?
Especially like when you're having like online classes.
Bhagavad Gita. As it is. Really?
Yeah, I got it from
Vinit. Vinit. Okay. You know Vinit, huh? That's great. That's a good one. And you're gonna see a lot of other books there. We have a library there too. We have a lot of books displayed. Just you can get to see. You like the place, I'm sure. And we have like 10,000 people in the festival time. They come and go, yeah. It's nice. I'm pleased that we're going there today. Okay, get some food and then sit there. Then I'm gonna continue singing.
Whether the rest are portables and it's like what they're building is because like it's all good little classes and all those. So all of that's in there.
Hare 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 Eva Kevalam Kalonasteva Nasteva Nasteva Katira Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Rama Eva Kevalam Kalonasteva Nasteva Nasteva One more time, all together. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Alo nastera 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 Vatira Gurudev Kripa Vinodaya Paramasi Vinapeka Adina Gurudev Sakala Swami Baladia Kora Nijamane Sera Ina Kara Kripa Vinodaya Kara Sakala samana korite sakati Prayonata jata jata Pavito Naiva Harinama Sukhe Apara Paviyata Gurudev Kripa Vinodaya Paramasi Vinapeka Adina Gurudev Habeno Kripa Labia Ejana Kripa Rata Venata Shakti Buddhina Aliyate Dena Koro Mare Anasata Gurudev Kripa Vinodaya Narayana Vinapeka Adina Gurudev Jagyata Vichare Kichu Nai Nai Tumharo Karuna Sara Karuna Na Hoine Kandiya Kandiya Gurudev Karuna Na Hoine Kandiya Kandiya Vandanara Viguara Gurudev Kripa Vinodaya Sakala sare balamiya koro jamane sina hina Jaya Guru Deva Patita Pavana Guru Deva Jai Jai Guru Deva Jai Jai Guru Deva Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama Hare Hare Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jiverdaya Kore Sapa Sadasya Swayam Avatari Atyanta Dulabha Prema Garibare Dhamma Sikaya Sharanamavati Bhakatena Praya Dainya Atma Nivedana Bhakti Varana Apasaro Krishna Krisasapala Bhakti Anukula Matra Kavira Sikava Bhakti Pratikula Bhava Varjanangika Saranga Sharana Bhakti Hai Bejava Para Dante Trona Corale Wakati Nagarane Kandiya Bale Amito Aga Sikaya Saravati Goreyuta Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Rama Kalo Nastira Jai Gaurangera Prema Gaurangera Prema Sankirtana Jai Hare Krishna. Oh, bless you, Shri Guru Shri Gauranga. Thank you for joining. See you next time.